And then what did you make of Sophie Cunningham's flagrant foul on JC towards the end?
It was a flagrant foul.
You think it's like defending England or defending the team, or how do you view just how it all?
I view it as a flagrant foul.
Wow, that's about the game too.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys came for basketball.
Yeah,
Let's talk about basketball.
Yeah.
Come on now.
What do you think of just how you all were able to pull away in the second half, Caitlin, and
We're
particularly?
going to the Commissioner Cup Championship.
Let's
That's
go!
pretty exciting. Y'all want to talk about that? Let's talk about that.
What do you think again in the second half?
The WNBA is about to jeopardize its own existence. Caitlin Clark, its biggest star, is allegedly reaching her breaking point, and rumors that she is leaving are getting stronger by the day. This goes beyond simple rookie hazing. It tells of assaults that occurred in court but were disregarded by authorities. A media that places the blame on the sufferer, and a jealous league that harbors resentment toward its own savior. There is now a startling rumor that Clark is preparing an escape. A bold power move that might reveal the WNBA's worst weaknesses and leave the league vying for the same attention she provided on her own.
WNBA record. This is her second season. And you put the numbers together, that's like 10 seasons. That girl did it in 10 seasons. That means she had one a season. Caitlin Clark is... when Caitlin Clark gets to 10 seasons, she's going to have 100 of these. And y'all can't get a girl her roses. Now, I don't like the fact that she be getting woke because she don't want all these lesbians to be mad at it. At the end of the day, is the woman putting in the work, she's putting in the work.
You must first comprehend the enormity of her influence in order to comprehend why leaving is even an option. Not only do the numbers convey a tale, they shout it from the rooftops. The WNBA was a specialized league vying for viewers' attention prior to Caitlin Clark. It changed to appointment television once she arrived. We are discussing a one-woman plan for economic stimulus. Suddenly, arenas that had previously had seas of empty seats were packed out. Not only in Indiana, where she was born, but in every city she went to. In order to accommodate the influx of fans who came to watch her play, rival teams rescheduled their games to bigger NBA stadiums.
This is all going according to plan. This is ideal. Caitlin Clark is holding up her end by being awesome and by being a trash-talking jerk on the court. Love it. Her teammates are holding up their end by having her back. The other players in the league are holding up their end by not liking her. Perfect. Couldn't have written a better script. Caitlin is talking trash to this girl's hard fouling her. Her teammate Sophie Cunningham, who got a black belt in Taekwondo at the age of 6, she's like, I will F you guys up. All of it's great. And Caitlin's a killer. 10 out of 10, no.
When her jersey was released, it sold more than any other athlete's in any sport. Her brief injury layoff was the most damning piece of evidence, yet the league's viewership on major networks surged by triple-digit percentages. Instantly, the WNBA's viewership fell by an incredible 55%. Give that some thought. More than half of the league's broadcast viewership disappears when one player misses a game. This wasn't a cooperative person. She was the only one in the market, paying the salaries of the very players who appear to be upset with her and financing her own resistance.
Caitlin Clark is driving the WNBA insane. It's to the point that she may need to step away from the WNBA, have a billionaire come in that has the money to prove a point, and say, Caitlin, I'll pay you $50 million just to see if the WNBA can make it without you. Let's go create a complete different league and expose the hell out of the WNBA just to embarrass this Angel Reese girl that Jameel Hill just said she could go down as a Michael Jordan of WNBA.
Yeah. However, despite all the cash and publicity she generated, her league debut felt more like a back alley ambush than a red carpet. It soon became evident that the opposition had a single main defensive tactic. Observe the extent of the physical punishment she could withstand before breaking. It was more than simply physical basketball. The advertising was specifically targeted. Hip checks, off-ball shvees, and forceful closeouts that bordered on blatant assault were all highlights of every game. The pinnacle of this was when Marina Mabrey famously shoved Caitlin, sending her falling and causing her to be totally cut off from the action.
Well, I will say this. When Caitlin Clark was out, they lost 55% of their viewership. So, like, basically, Caitlin Clark is paying all their salaries.
Pretty much.
I mean, at the end of the day, you can hate her as much as you want, but she's brought in millions of fucking dollars. So you should be kissing her ass.
And that kind of defeated the purpose of Angel Reese's argument of she's like, hey, it's not just Caitlin Clark that is bringing all the viewership to the WNBA. It's like, well, it definitely is. It's like it kind of proved that with the viewership rating being down that she significantly increases viewership with.
They try so hard to compare her to Caitlin Clark. They try so.
It was a maneuver more appropriate for a hockey match than a basketball court. Nevertheless, her critics found Clark's response to be the most upsetting aspect of all. She didn't strike back. She didn't voice any complaints. She simply got back up, cleaned herself up, and resumed her work. Her poise wasn't regarded as professional. It was interpreted as arrogance, which only served to fuel the flames and intensify the impact of the subsequent blow. The message was unambiguous. You won't surpass us, and we'll attempt to stop you with force if we are unable to do so skillfully.
The fever and sun hold a brawl and a basketball game breaks out. This was something. Caitlin Clark, without question, gets raked across the face. I think she gets poked in the eye, but it's difficult to tell.
If you're the Indiana Fever, you cannot stand by and let that happen. They need to make it clear to the officials. If you're going to let this happen, then we're going to stand up for our player and make a mess of the game, and you're going to have a big mess on your hands. So you need to stand up for this. You need to do something about this.
You've just learned with definitive data and beyond question that Caitlin Clark controls more than half the audience for the entire WNBA.
However, there was more to the story than just the hits on the court. Due to the absence of the individuals who were paid to enforce the regulations, the officials appeared to be ignoring Caitlin as she was being handled like a human piñata. Apparently, they lost their whistles. The league as a whole received a clear signal when blatantly aggressive infractions were disregarded or referred to as common fouls. The season is open. The organization that ought to have been safeguarding its golden goose, the WNBA front office, was utterly silent. When it came to dress code infractions, they responded more quickly than when their biggest star was singled out.
A lot of us were expecting some sort of dip since Caitlin Clark has been out with injury, but I don't think all of us were expecting the entire viewership of the entire WNBA to be down. And this tweet from Christine Brennan really stuck out to me. She said one player gets injured and more than half the TV audience for the entire league disappears. Has any other athlete ever had that kind of impact on a sport? Golf without Tiger definitely dropped precipitously on occasion, but not like this. This news is alarming for the league, and it's alarming for the league because this is such a crucial year for the WNBA.
A fan-led online campaign was born out of this confusion in action. The defense of Caitlin Clark's mobility. By slow-motion replaying videos, circling illicit screens, and yelling into the digital emptiness for an errant foul that would never appear, viewers turned into amateur forensic experts. It revealed a profound, disturbing hypocrisy at the WNBA's core. They wanted her TV ratings, ticket sales, and marketing influence, but they wouldn't provide her the same fundamental protections as other players. Not only was this failure incompetent, it seemed deliberate. A tacit acceptance of on-court hazing.
I am sick and tired of the way they are treating my girl, Caitlin Clark. I am here to propose a solution. I think they need an enforcer. You know, someone who comes off the bench to kind of lay the smack down on an opposing team member. I want to get the word out to the Indiana Fever that I am available. I'm ready to identify as whatever I need to in order to get the job. They need someone like me. Why? Because I'm not afraid of any 6-foot tall lesbian. I work out. Now, I have a couple of real good go-to moves in my bag of tricks.
As if things couldn't get any more ridiculous, the media jumped in and placed the blame on the victim. Rather of pointing out the risky plays, talking heads and sports experts started to develop a weird narrative. They maintained that Caitlin was to blame for the aggressiveness. She exuded too much confidence. She talked trash. She brought it on herself, they said. This argument is so essentially flawed that it's difficult to know where to start. We are discussing professional sports, a society based on psychological warfare, rivalry, and ego. One of the greatest trash talkers ever was Michael Jordan. Larry Bird made a living by mentally shredding opponents before the game even began. Underscore underscore. Underscore under.
Oh, it's just shit I don't like. A snitch, nigga, it's that shit I don't like.
You know, they get into it a bit here. Lexi Hall now gets it.
Oh, bitch, nigga.
Sheldon's face. Caitlin Clark hits the deck.
Sneak decides that's that shit I don't like.
Sheldon and Cunningham are getting into it.
A snitch, nigga, that's that shit I don't like.
Caitlin Clark with a few words with JC Sharp.
Their pranks are praised, preserved as a component of their rivalry. However, Caitlin Clark is suddenly breaking an unspoken taboo that could result in bodily punishment when she does it. Fans were furious to witness this obvious double standard. Commentators would go to great lengths to defend a violent shove, examining Caitlin's stance or demeanor as though she were requesting it in some way. In essence, they were holding the mailbox accountable for being struck by an intoxicated motorist. It was a clear and twisted message. Throughout the WNBA, you deserve everything that comes your way if you are a self-assured woman who supports it.
Caitlin Clark has decided to quit the WNBA and move on and go play over in Europe. I do not blame her. I applaud it. I say do it. Get as far away from the WNBA as you can. Let that league sink. Okay? Do not help them, Caitlin. Get away. I believe you could create your own league. Okay? You could be the fucking player that creates whatever, the next professional women's basketball league. Let this one just go and let Caitlin try to build the next WNBA.
However, this harmful. It wasn't only opponents who were exposed to the toxic environment. It appeared to be ingrained in the veteran culture of the league. The phrase, gatekeeping, became popular. Some players' bizarre, self-defeating zeal because they believed Clark hadn't earned her stripes. What actually was earned? She was already the league's most well-known and significant athlete, giving the WNBA more recognition and revenue in a matter of months than other teams had in decades. One could feel the resentment. Players who had spent years battling for prominence were abruptly cast as supporting roles in the Caitlin Clark series, and they weren't happy about it. Although the rivalry with Angel Ree and others was frequently brought up, it was only one sign of a far more serious illness. A group of players appeared more focused on putting the new star in her place than taking advantage of the once-in-a-generation chance she offered, resulting in a league-wide identity crisis. They were too preoccupied with identifying the queen of the court to see that, in her absence, the entire country was in danger of disintegrating.
I want to get your opinion because it's been a minute on this Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark stuff that's been going on. Brittany Griner a couple of weeks ago in a video says trash effing white girl when she was playing Caitlin Clark. What's your just kind of 30,000-foot view of this?
There is not an organization more dedicated and committed to self-imploding than the WNBA. The WNBA was like handed the golden egg that is Caitlin Clark. Yeah. And they have done everything to just self-destruct. Yeah. Whether it's these totally crazy, like, racial investigations that have been proven a hoax.
This leads us back to the unimaginable rumor that she might go. This is the point at which the narrative intriguingly shifts from one of abuse to one of ultimate retribution. Speculative experts and fans have proposed two primary options. The European escape comes first. She might land a multi-million-dollar deal in a country where female basketball players are frequently accorded greater dignity and respect. She would receive a good salary, have league protection, and be free to play basketball without being bothered by the WNBA's political infighting and high school drama. The billionaire's gambit, the second possibility, is even more dramatic. According to the argument, a wealthy investor who notices the WNBA's self-defeating behavior would make Clark an unexpected offer. If you can sit out and demonstrate that the WNBA cannot function without you, I'll pay you $50 million. Better yet, they might use Clark as the face of a brand new rival league. In the history of contemporary sports, it would be the most revolutionary move. A straightforward task that would reveal the WNBA's vulnerability and possibly turn its rubble into a new empire.
Caitlin Clark did her thing. Coming off of the injury, she returned for the Fever, and I swear I am not being hyperbolic. We were immediately gifted one of the greatest halves we have ever seen in the WNBA, and I say that with all context involved. This series from Caitlin Clark, the pull-up three here, and you are about to see back-to-back-to-back triples for Caitlin Clark in this game. I am not trying to erase the things we have seen from Maya Moore, from Diana Taurasi, A'ja Wilson's 53-point game, Stewie, Cynthia Cooper. Like, we have seen incredible halves of basketball, but you see Caitlin Clark coming off of that made three from the Liberty. Pull-up, of course. She's making it in that moment.
Let's discuss the alleged rivalry that some athletes and the media have frantically attempted to create. There are legendary rivalries in every great sport. Both Magic versus Bird and Federer versus Nadal were based on intense admiration for one another. There isn't a rivalry going on with Caitlin Clark. The obsession is one-sided. The whole deception was revealed when Angel Reese gave Clark a flagrant foul to the head and was subsequently spotted being praised by her teammates on the bench. This has nothing to do with rivalry. It has to do with hostility. Genuine rivals encourage one another to be